I end up riding way more than I end up filming. That's because I'm more passionate about riding than I am about filming and editing. And something that I normally like to do off camera is general maintenance on these bikes. And now that I finally have my own garage, it makes it a lot easier to do my own maintenance on these bikes. And unfortunately, ever since I moved into this garage, I've run into some issues that we have to talk about today. And one of those issues, unfortunately, involves this bike. And it's not a good thing. So the first thing I really want you guys to ignore is I got a bug bite right on my face, right about here. It itches a lot. It actually hurts a little bit. It does happen to be peak summer. I got a bunch all over my arm. I happen to be a little bit allergic, so tragic. Yes, I don't mean to lead you guys on anymore, but let's talk about this. If you guys have been following the page for a little bit, I just recently got a nice little garage where I can finally do my own maintenance, which I showed that off in a little short. If you guys follow me, I just put an exhaust in the Grom, so now the Grom has a little exhaust. It's sick. But as you guys know, I haven't really been riding the bigger bikes. I haven't really touched the H2, haven't really touched the V4, and I have a good reason for that. You see, man, I lost a friend, and I'm not trying to use his death as a reason as to like, I'm not trying to garner sympathy here. That's not what I'm trying to do. But it is, I mean, it's logical to think that like you lose one of your friends on a motorcycle. Logically in your brain starts to be like, oh, this is like a dangerous hobby. And it just reminds you that you should be safe on these things and not exceed your own limits. And that's kind of what I've been dealing with in the background a lot in my own brain. That's why you haven't seen me, even in the short form stuff, I haven't been riding the V4 or the H2 that much. If you look at the bikes I've been riding, like if you look down, I'm riding bikes like this and that and that and this, not so much these two. Again, I'm not trying to garner sympathy. I'm not asking people to feel bad. It's just like, it's a fact that I've been dealing with and everybody else around me has been dealing with as well. Some of the other guys have sold their bigger bikes and downgraded into smaller bikes. That just makes logical sense. It's kind of how you mature as a rider. You kind of start out like on the small bikes. You think that, oh, I can handle all these bigger bikes, and you hop on the bigger bikes. You think you can handle it, and then something happens, or whether it's to you or a friend of yours, something always happens. Like it happened to me last fall and I wrecked my V4. I kind of had a little bit of a wake up call after that, which is why I sold my S1000, I sold my leader bikes besides this and that, which to be honest with you, I probably shouldn't have bought that. Probably shouldn't own this, but whatever, it is what it is. Okay, so that's all connected to what I'm trying to talk about today. I'm not trying to, basically, since I haven't been riding this bike, I haven't really been checking up on the maintenance on it, and same with that as well. I'm pretty much caught up on maintenance on the R6, I'm caught up on maintenance on the 698, I'm caught up on maintenance on the Grom, but these two in particular, I got some problems. The V4, not so much. The V4 is actually fine, it's under warranty, the oil level is all good on that one. The chain is a little messed up, but that's something I could probably tackle on a different day. But no, the H2 is omega screwed, and I didn't realize it this entire summer. It's not looking too hype, my friends. Okay, so yeah, this bike has 3,300 miles on it. Again, I haven't been riding it as much this year. I started the year out with like 2,200 miles on it. Yeah, I haven't been riding it, obviously. But it's been about 1,000 miles since my last oil change. And the problem is I checked the oil level on this bike like a day or two ago, and it's pretty overfilled. Unfortunately, I'm not talking a little bit overfilled either. I'm talking about like, if you took this bike to a bar and they overfilled you up by that much, it would be over the cup. You can kind of see it in the sight glass right there. It's pretty bad. This is like when you go to grandma's house and she's trying to give you, she fills up your little soda and it just seeps off the top of the glass and onto the table. It's not good. And I have been riding this bike around all summer, well, a little bit of the summer. And unfortunately, that's not the only bike that's like that either. You see, the R9 is also, actually, this is way worse. This bike is way more overfilled. Again, I wish I could kind of show you. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but this bike is extremely overfilled. And I've been riding this bike around for the past about 1,000 miles, completely overfilled, which if you don't know, if you overfill your motorcycle with oil, it can basically cause the oil to foam up and then become less viscous, less protective of the engine components, basically causes damage. And I've been riding both of these bikes around completely overfilled. Now I've checked every single other motorcycle that I own. Every single other bike is fine. It's literally just this one and that one. It's not good. Well, I luckily have my own garage and I can solve my own problems. And so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna show you guys a cool little trick that I do whenever my bikes are overfilled. That's the cool thing. I mean, you already know it's always an excellent sign when starting out the video going to an AutoZone. Cold start on the Ducati 690. It's been a while since you guys have seen this bike, but good bike. It starts right up. It feels weird because you guys really haven't seen this bike in kind of a long while, which sucks because this is by far, like, this is the bike I feel comfortable riding the most. More so than the 600s, especially more so than the 1000s. Like, I feel like I can whip this bike. I can actually use my rider skill that I have as a little, little beginner guy that I am. It just kind
kind of sucks that, like, even on the Grom, dude, I can't post anything, like, more than just, you know, kind of driving the speed limit. I've had people tell me, like, oh, make an alt page where you can post more, like, fantastical stuff, but it's like, it's not really about, like, monetization reasons. It's also just about, like, legal reasons. You know, it's like one thing about talking about doing a wheelie, and then it's a different thing about actually doing a wheelie on a public street, even if I know that it's safe to do so because there's nobody else around. I'm not hurting anybody else but myself. The cops that don't like me won't really see it that way, and they're gonna have an issue about it. And so it just sucks. You just gotta take my word on it. This bike's freaking awesome. There's a reason why I don't really ride it in my videos that often. It's just because I can't really express that. But I mean, for our purposes today, she's a pretty good commuter too. Okay, well, I got a torque wrench, I got an oil filter, oil pan. I just need a Loctite. Alrighty then, I am actually definitely pushing the limits of what's possible with this backpack, but I actually bought this backpack right after I crashed my old V4. It was like, I was going on a ride, I think I was on my old S1000, which is kind of going to be a topic of discussion today I kind of wanted to talk about. It's something I've been thinking about a lot recently. There we go. Dang it, well, your boy forgot to get an energy drink. Well, oh well. You see, a couple years ago, I owned a Triumph Daytona 675. Doing oil changes on that bike was really annoying because I had a dipstick, kind of like the R6, but I was doing it myself and it was a really big pain. I never could really do it right. And so what I would do is I would keep one of these nice tubes on hand. Oh, it's not clear. I just realized that. This is going to be really painful. Well, I have a very high likelihood of swallowing some motor oil today, but oh well. My current plan is I'm going to siphon, using my mouth, oil from the capacity on this bike and this bike to siphon out the oil so that way it's at the proper oil level instead of having to drain it out of the drain plug like a creatine, like a buffoon. All right. Let's get to it.
All right, let's get to work. So let's take a look. I don't know, I'm gonna have to review this in post if you guys can even see the oil level where it's currently at, but I can't even really see it. All right, well, I guess we'll just start with siphoning and go from there. Let's get some shop towels. There's gotta be a better way to do this. This is like an awful, awful tasting way. It's just such a bad idea because I can't even see what I'm doing. I hate this. I feel like I'm about to swallow like a whole thing of motor oil every time I'm doing this. This could have all been avoided if I just didn't overfill this to begin with. I don't even know what I titled this video, just fixing my bike in the most painful way possible. This feels like it combines two things that you guys really like to see. It's fixing things and things just going horrifically wrong for me. I don't know, that's your fault, that's not mine. That one came dangerously close to my lips. I felt that one. That was not a fun one. Gotta look into the camera, make eye contact when I do it. Am I making, I don't even know if I'm making any progress, bro. Hey, all I'm saying is you don't see car people doing this. I can taste the gasoline inside the oil. I thought I brought mouthwash here. Dude, that's like stuck in my mouth. I don't realize how close it got. I can feel like the film on my tongue. It's disgusting. I know why I did this. I missed the R9. I want to ride the R9, but I'm scared of messing it up. Riding with that overfilled oil level. Dude, I swear, if I don't have mouthwash here, I brought some, I swear. Oh, here it is. Mouthwash. Bottoms up. Yeah, it's like still filmy on my tongue. I don't think I'm ever getting that out. I can like, it's like the flavor is still in there. It's not a good flavor. Well, sorry. I really don't want to risk that again. You can probably tell. Oh yeah, I definitely got some in my mouth. I just immediately put all this down. That's annoying. Well, that's about all the progress I got. It's just oil mixed with spit and nothingness. As you can see, the bike's on its kickstand and you can still see the oil level. This thing is pretty overfilled. It just sucks. Well, this was a stupid attempt at just trying to siphon out oil out of a motorcycle that was severely overfilled. That's about as much progress as I got to make. A tiny amount of oil out of still what is a very overfilled bike. What was the point of what I just did today? I don't know. I feel dumb for even trying. Next time, I suppose a better idea would have been to use a clear tube, so that way I wouldn't have gotten a bunch of oil in my mouth, but I mean, I could go back and get like a clear tube and just continue the, I don't know, if anyone has any solid methods to let me know. I don't know. Definitely what I was attempting to do is not gonna work. Well, I do have some level of good news today. I checked chain tension on the V4 and it's still good. I did do proper measurements. It's supposed to be like 0.82 inches or something like that, so it's all good. So I know sometimes you guys think it's funny that like I work on bikes and it goes terribly wrong. I promise you it's not like that all the time. I just happen to film some of the sillier projects and that's what ends up happening. Okay, so besides kind of messing up everything and not being able to ride the H2 for a little bit, there is something I wanted to talk about that I didn't really have the words for until like just recently. Besides all the stuff I got going on in the background between like not really wanting to ride the Lear bikes and stuff like that, I've been noticing I get videos on my For You. I'm a bit of a doom scroller sometimes, and I get videos up on my For You page all the time of people being like, oh, the H2, oh, that's my dream bike. I wanted H2 so bad. And I never understand when I see those types of videos.
this, because here's a hot take that I'm going to have to explain, but the H2 is not a very good motorcycle. It's not a very good modern motorcycle is what I should say. That's probably the better word for it, but oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, here's a bike that hasn't seen the page for a while. Ducati Panigale V4. You guys realize that the H2, like everything on that bike is like last generation, right? It's like last generation throttle, last generation electronics. The bike has a steel frame that's not very rigid at all. You can feel like the entire bike flexing when you're riding it. It's not a very good or like well put together bike. That's the problem. Well, it's well put together, but just like it's outdated. My model specifically is a 2024, but that bike hasn't been updated since 2019. And even then, they didn't update that much. That engine and those electronics came out in 2015, brother. This bike was more recently, like, had a better update than that bike did. It's over 10 years old now. The only reason I would see that you would want to buy an H2 is if motorcycles are like your entire life. Kind of like your boy. I had a friend ask me recently, he's like, yo, if you, let's say like you had the same amount of money that you have now, but you didn't have a YouTube channel dedicated to motorcycles, would you still have the same lineup? And to be honest with you, I thought about it for a second. I was like, if I didn't have the YouTube channel that I have, I didn't dedicate my entire life to motorcycles, would I still be dedicating my entire life to motorcycles? And I was just kind of like, yeah, I think I would. I think the only exception being probably the R9, oddly enough. I don't think I would have bought the R9 if it wasn't for my YouTube channel. I did say that, like, when I bought that thing, I was just placing an order just to, like, see if it would be worth it for the entertainment. The funny thing is I actually really ended up enjoying that bike, and now it's like kind of a permanent little stay on my channel, which I think is cool. That bike is really, that thing's worth it. But like really, if you analyze my life, dude, like I kind of just spend all my money on motorcycles. I don't really spend my money on anything else. I don't really deem anything else really being worth it. God, I still have that taste of oil in my mouth. I can still taste like the little, it literally smells like gasoline coming out of my breath whenever I speak a word. It smells like gasoline in this helmet right now. How much you want to bet that this Tesla wants to race? He's gonna, I just know it. I saw it. I literally saw it, bro. I can see it from a mile away. He wants to race. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. He didn't take it off there. I saw him. He was like accelerating. There he goes. Yeah, I see. He's driving like a jackass. I'm acknowledging this here because this is growth. Because like 2 years ago, dude, I was on my R1. I remember I was trying to race. I raced a Tesla and I beat it. They're not that fast compared to these bikes, but it's just like I'm glad that I'm not at the level anymore where I'm just like trying to ego race everywhere I go, man. It's just, I don't know what this dude's doing. Hope his Tesla just prevents him from whacking me. I'm not racing a car, bro. Like, it's just, I know I'm gonna win. Dude, I just like, why? What's the point? Like, you're 45 years old, dude. I'm just not about it anymore, bro. It frustrates me, because I know myself, but it's just like imagining him pulling up to some teenager that doesn't know any better. He's gonna end up racing in traffic, whacking a car, and then dying. Dude, you're so old. Just don't. Not on the street, bro. Just not, it's not the place. Especially in the middle of the fucking day. Alright, see ya, dude. I probably shouldn't let it get to me, but it still just kind of does, bro. It's, just take it to the track. Some days are definitely easier than others. This morning was definitely not an easy one. Well, I don't think it would be a proper vlog without another temptation of the flesh. Ah, the duck looks good. I'm not trading anything in. I'm not buying anything today. I just wanted to. Some of you may remember I owned a BMW S1000 last year, and I've been having a lot of many little flashbacks, let me tell you. I know I was just talking earlier briefly about like 1000 cc's and how I haven't been riding them that much, and that's just because these bikes are kind of hard to ride. The V4 and the H2 exclusively are kind of difficult. I mean, to me personally, the V4, and from the professionals I've talked to, the V4 is faster on a racetrack than the S1000, but from my memory of the S1000, that bike is way easier to ride fast. It's a cheat code, brother. It rides itself. That could either be a compliment of the bike or a downside of the bike, depending on how you look at it, because it's kind of cheating. You're riding way faster and way beyond your ability, but god damn it, did it feel good. Oh man, it was such an experience. It was, I think it was the first bike I learned how to hit balance point on, and I did so without a working rear brake because my rear brake broke on my old one. I had so many problems with my old BMW, man. That's why I'm like, I don't want to buy another one, but I'm just entertaining the idea. It's the throttle, man. It's that fueling. Makes me miss it. I just remember that there was a night last year, so I had, you guys remember like 2 videos ago I was talking about like that whole story. Dated a girl, she didn't want me, and so I dated a girl who wanted me but I didn't want. And this was after that, before I crashed my V4. I hung out with another girl. This was like a third girl. I only hung out with her like twice, but I just got done hanging out with her, and I felt so empty. I felt so lost inside, because I was just like, it's just another girl that I just didn't feel that connection. And obviously I learned, at least at that point, I'm like, okay, this is not good. I can't continue this. But I just remember feeling so frustrated, so angry at myself after hanging out with that girl. I was on my S1000. I hopped back on my S1000 that night, dude, and I had probably one of the dumbest nights of my life, because again, I don't have as much rider skill as some of these other dudes on YouTube, man. But that bike, that it basically wrote itself. I was popping wheelies through stoplights. The footage is out there. I'm not gonna repost it, but holy God, man, clutching up, power wheeling that thing through intersections, just being a complete going a certain triple-digit speed on a highway. It was incredible. And I got home feeling, it made me feel better. I'll tell you that. But I think about that night a lot, because of how much risk I potentially was doing to myself, and all that damage I was doing to myself by being that risky with my own life. I think about that a lot, and that's why it's like one of the main things that I kind of just don't want to get another one, because I ride this and I'm like, I know how powerful this thing feels fast, which is kind of funny, because I end up just riding this thing the speed limit everywhere with the occasional pull on the highway, because I respect this thing. I understand it's powerful. I think about that S1K and I remember that feeling of just total control hanging through the air. I miss it. Your boy kind of stayed past the allotted time at the public dealership. They kind of closed up on me, but I got my video. I got my short form little videos. That's all that really matters. But I think my biggest fear would be to buy another S1000RR and then just worry about people seeing me in that, like, oh, he's buying the flex bike. Matthew Woods, he's buying the flex bike. But it's like, no. I think the H2 was honestly that's the stupidest flex bike. I just explained earlier why I think it's like kind of a terrible bike to ride. I have my reasons with these things. Like the BMW to me is kind of just like that, it makes riding stupid easier. And sometimes I just miss that, alright? Sometimes I like being a dumb, stupid little brain. But at the same time, I know it's not good for me. And so that's why you gotta make the mature decision, just walk away from that and hop on my equally stupid V4. This is hard to talk about, because it's like such a niche thing. You only really understand if you ride some of these bikes. I miss being stupid, I guess. You know, when you grow up, you miss the teenage years where you kind of were dumber and didn't know as much as you know now. I miss feeling that way. I don't so much miss the bike, if that makes sense. I miss not knowing how dangerous and stupid and how much hitting the ground at 100 miles an hour, how much that hurts. I wish I could forget that sometimes, but I know it's probably for the best. I mean, I get how it looks. Like, Matthew, you're talking about buying another liter bike on a different liter bike. What's the difference? They're all the same. It's like, no, they're not really all the same. They ride so differently, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Not that I want to buy another one. Like I said, there's a lot of reasons for me not to buy another one. One, it costs a lot of money. I'm not made of money. I'm gonna be honest here. Could I buy another one? Yeah. Probably wouldn't be the best financial decision of all time, but it's just, I don't think it would serve the page that much. The only reason I would buy another one would be for the wheelies. That's it. That's the only reason. Not a very good reason in my opinion, especially when those wheelies you're constructing them at like 100 miles an hour, and I can't even show that on camera anyway, like I was talking about earlier. There's no point other than my own personal self-satisfaction that it makes me just feel like I can ride faster, when I could just put the time in and learn this. But I don't want to learn this. That's scary, bro. Wheeling at 100 miles an hour, a little scary. I just hate how it's such a flex bike, too. It's such a, like, the most classic, or I'm gonna buy this bike and be popular on TikTok. I get it. That's the stereotype. I just hate that that's what that is. That's the bike that everybody chose. And dude, I get it. I probably sound a little ridiculous buying another, like, potentially even like entertaining the idea of buying another bike when I have a garage like this. Probably, perhaps a bit silly, but I like bikes. What can I say? I was talking to my buddies were trying to get me to get a sports car. They're like, dude, imagine Matthew Woods with an M2. And I don't care. I don't care for the cars, man. I think it's cool that people like them, but I just know if I got one, I would never drive it. If I ever get a nice day like today, I'm going to be out riding. That's just what I am. I got my truck. I know Eve likes the truck, so that's all I really got. I got nobody to impress, bro. If I don't like the car, if I don't know anybody who really is into the cars besides my male friends, I don't know, man. It's always going to be the bikes for me. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a little vlog in my day of the life, working on these stupid things. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.